Bum, 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 bum. The Peter Like Show. Bum, 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 bum. All right, we got a good storm today, and that's usually a sign of good luck. And it's kind of funny every time I plan a meetup with, well, you guys know who I met here. We have stormy weather like this, and apparently storm rain is apparently a good sign. So all signs seem to point to me having found the right one, but no career pivot. It sounds like every fortune tell I've told has ended in that result, and I've talked to a few friends of mine as well, and I talked to a couple of colleagues back home, and they all think that why would you want to leave your dream job, right? And so I have a dream job, but I don't have dream circumstances. Back home, I have to drive. And the other day, I was doing a calculation. I had just gotten rid of one car and replaced it with another. I keep really good reports on what I spent toward the car. And when I did the math, the amount of money I spent on the car was the equivalent of a good part of my workday. Let's just put it that way. And then I have to spend time to drive to work, obviously, right? And then I come to Taiwan, and all of the jobs I looked at were on the subway line. And when I went to pay for the monthly subway pass, I realized that, hey, I can't even wash my car for this amount of money every month back home in the United. I'm not kidding. I live in a desert, so that doesn't help. If I lived in Seattle, I probably wouldn't have to wash my car nearly as much, right? Uh, and so I it's kind of upsetting. Leave a comment if you've ever had a dream job, but not so dream circle. The way I like to think of it is that the job doesn't end at the door of the office, right? You got to get there. You got to arrange your life to make that work. And nowadays, it's quite humbling to realize that because nowadays, when I hear somebody is an X, whatever career X happens to be, it makes me realize they do a lot more than X, right? Whether that be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer, whatever X is, right? Some kind of, or even the waiter at the restaurant does a lot more than waiting tables, right? It makes me realize that. It's very humbling. Especially back home in the United States where you have to drive, right? If you didn't have to drive, X is still a lot more than X, but a big part of that has disappeared. When I did the calculation, the number of hours I spent on my car, whether it be actually hours spent at the wheel or hours spent earning income to pay for that car, when I added that up, it was a good chunk of time. It was like the equivalent of having a retirement while I'm still working, right? If I could get rid of that, right? I'll let you do the calculation. I'll let you do the calculation yourself. But last night I had a dream that I was living happily ever after with the girl, but unfortunately I couldn't discern in my dream where that happily ever after was. It didn't have a car in it, now that I think about it. So it was probably either Taiwan or Vietnam. Um, I don't think I was retired yet in the dream. So there's still a chance that things may go right. I do want to go home to teach this fall, though. I already know a lot of the students that I'll be teaching. I want you to pray that that goes right. I'm going to do what I can to get rid of, or at least minimize my driving, whether it be living closer or I got to see what the campus looks like. There's a chance I might be able to just squat in the campus. I've done that before. Or another possibility is I did this in Seattle in the past. Sometimes you can rent office space, and that would be closer to where the school is. I was in Seattle when I rented a 50 square foot office. Got to be a little bit more discreet about it this time. Last time I kind of got caught. What's really funny is that I got caught. The owner knew I was living there, but this is Seattle. We got very liberal laws. It's very difficult to kick out a squatter. There have been stories on the news where people come home to vacation to find that somebody has squatted their home. It's very difficult to get rid of them. You got to go through a formal eviction. It seems like, even if it's a squatter. And so the owner knew he wasn't going to get me out of there, and he harassed me to no end. He would complain about noises, odors. He would say that other people claimed that I had harassed them. And when I went to dig further, who was that? I want to make sure I'm not being misunderstood. He wouldn't be able to tell me what was said, when did it happen. No answer. And at first I thought maybe there genuinely was a misunderstanding, but then it happened when I was away. I had traveled to go see a lunar eclipse at one point, and I was away for 2 days, and the complaints kept coming in during those 2 days. I was like, this is all just the owner wanting me to get out of there. Long story short, I bought a car and I moved into my car to sleep in my car. And then I complained to my credit card company because I could document I was away. I was away for the lunar eclipse. I had bought stuff while away from the place, and I could document that. I had photos of the lunar eclipse when it was cloudy back home in Seattle. I could document that. And I complained to my credit card company that bad service, and they refunded. They went back and refunded like 2 or 3 months. So not only did I get cheap rent, but I didn't even pay for the last couple of months of my living there. So, but the big reward of living there was that I didn't have much of a commute. I was working at a technology startup, and I literally walked to work, and that was the happiest time of my life. I didn't own a car at the time. I was still reeling from my last car accident, anxieties and all that. All right. Pray that I go home and don't have too much anxiety around driving, or find a solution around it. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.